your Bubby's brisket, your Savta's roast, your mom's beef tagine. These memories are enough to make you run to the butcher. But what goes into the price of meat in Montreal? And is it really more expensive? To answer that, we need to travel back to the year 1922. When a group of European settlers landed in Montreal, they saw a struggling Jewish community. It was like the kosher Wild West. Anyone could slaughter an animal and say it was kosher. The competition kept many honest butchers out of business, and conniving wholesalers looked to undermine them by any means possible. How did this small group of immigrants fix the growing issues in their community? By creating the Vaad of Montreal, the MK, and instituting a policy to uphold kosher standards. With this rare and desperate measure to keep Jewish life afloat, the MK was made responsible for making sure the kosher supervision was, and always would be, held to the utmost standards. Without having any impact on the price of meat, this policy protected the slaughterers, butcher shops, and all of our communities from being undercut by imported meat from larger communities like in the US. Truth is, New York's Jewish population is almost 10 times larger than Montreal.
And the sales there are amazing.
Oh yeah, the sales there are amazing. But when you grind the numbers, the regular prices are more than comparable. Our neighbors in Toronto have more than twice the population of Montreal with no protection policy, and the prices here are still competitive. Our neighbors down south have the luxury of being able to buy and import meat from South America with little to no government interference and at a lower cost. We Canadians have to deal with strict taxes, limiting trade agreements, and tight government regulations. In short, we are locally grown, supported, and distributed. Even in challenging times, this policy prioritizes local butchers and ensures they can provide meat for all families in spite of shortages. Here's how the sausage is made. The butcher gets a lead on cattle for kosher slaughtering. They'll reach out to MK's roster of highly trained slaughterers who are ready to work at the drop of a hat. Not all of the slaughtered cows turn out to be kosher after inspection, so the shochtim are paid a flat rate regardless of the number of approved slaughtered animals. This guarantees an honest process and proper supervision. Let's say 100 cows come through a kosher line. Typically, around 70 of them are unfit to eat or have sickness that disqualifies them from being kosher, and automatically the back half of the remaining 30 don't make the cut. At this point, the butcher's takeaway is the equivalent of only 15 cows. The kosher butcher only pays for what they take. The rest of the cow belongs to the abattoir. But to counter the reduced production and heavy overhead, the abattoir charges more per kilogram of meat. Not a lot of beef, but you can bet your bottom dollar this is the highest level of kashrus you can buy. Think about this. The MK receives a meager 18 cents, which goes to cover the costs of slaughterers, supervisors, and certifying MK locations. What started the MK in the 1920s as a necessity to ensure the well-being of the thriving Jewish community has turned into one of the most well-respected kosher agencies in the world. The MK has made it possible for any Jew, from any walk of life, and from any community to be able to sit at the same table, no questions asked. It's actually pretty cool. Just think, when buying your kosher meat in Montreal, you're getting the highest kosher standard available while maintaining Jewish continuity. Still dreaming about that brisket, roast, and beef tagine? Now you can rest assured that Bubby, Savta, and Mom have got the best meat in town.